So, hello guys. Use of English. Let's talk about morpheme. What's a morpheme? Morpheme is the smallest unit of grammar or a language. That is the smallest unit that you can ever break, like that you can ever have. Like you can't break it down again to simpler word. It's the simplest, the smallest you can ever have. Do you get it? It's the smallest unit of grammar or a language. But when we are talking of morpheme, we have different kinds. We have different, or let me say different types rather. And when we're talking of morpheme, we can talk about morpheme based on meaning and based on structure. Now let's focus on based on meaning for today or for now. Based on meaning, morpheme based on meaning. If you have to talk about based on meaning, we have two types. Which are what? The free morpheme and the what? And the bound morphemes. Now for the free morpheme, these are like base morpheme, like root word. You can't break them down. Like they are the least, the simplest, the smallest you can ever have. So like the smallest that still have meaning. That's another thing you need to know. That still have meaning. The smallest word you can have that still have meaning. They are free morpheme. Like key. You can't break this thing down. Like sing. If you say you want to remove G and remain CIN, that's another word entirely. But you having G or removing G and you are still trying to maintain the root word of that is another. No. You can't remove G. This is the smallest you can have. Key, keg, dance. So these are free morphemes. These are free morphemes. As many as you can mention: duster, ruler, eraser, sharpener. Okay, sorry. Not ruler. I'm sorry. Ruler is not there. Sharpener is not there. Duster is not there. Yeah, because we can still break those one down. Now, can you see what you are saying? If I say duster is free morpheme, I'm wrong. If I say duster, because there's a bound morpheme there, which is ER, because we can still break it down by removing dust. Let's just let's notice that. So that's that for that. But what I just said is beyond that. But I just want to show us, But let's leave that aside. Now, key sing, key dance, keg, what else? We have board. So these are examples of free morpheme. The simplest or the smallest words you can have and still make sense, still have meaning. You can't break them down again. But like band morpheme, we have like S, we have like ing, we have like re, we have like il, as in when you're adding it to legal to make it illegal. Do we get? Also, this band morpheme, we say morpheme is the smallest unit of grammar. Whether free or band, both are smallest units. You can't break S, you can't break ing. If you break ing, what do you want to add? If you add ng to a word, what are you trying to do? REIL, these are also smallest unit. But this kind or this type of smallest unit, they cannot stand alone. But this type of smallest unit of word, they can stand alone and still make sense. They will have meaning. But this one, they don't have meaning. You have to bind them with free morpheme to either change the word class of the free morpheme or change the part of speech or change the tense of the free morpheme. What band morpheme does is that it changes the word class of free morphemes, it changes the part of speech, it changes the tense. For instance, from singular to plural. Do we get it? Yeah, it also does that too. It changes from singular to plural. Like key. If I add band morpheme S to key, to free morpheme key, it becomes what? Keys. Changing it from this one now contain two morphemes, a free morpheme or a base morpheme, which is the root word, and a band morpheme S. So the root word is key, singular, while adding S make it pluralized, keys. So also, like dance, if I had ing, this dancing, do we get dancing? So that's another thing we also need to know. Now, we are going to do a lot on that, but so don't just take note that band morpheme can change a singular word to plural, a singular word to plural word. Can also change the word class of a free morpheme. Can also change the tense, like from present tense. It can also change it to past tense. Do we get that? Um, can also have, or you can change it to past participle, can change it to present continuous, can change it to whatever, changing the tense. We are going to deal with all that. You can also change the word class. Take note of that. You can also change the part of speech from from um from maybe noun to verb. Do we get that? You can change part of speech. Band moving can change part of speech from noun to verb and whatever. So we are going to get to all that aspect. Now let's focus on band moving. Band moving. When we are talking of band morphemes, let me check the video. So these they have we have two types. Two types. We have the derivational, and we have the what? The inflectional, and the what? The inflectional. Also, no, band morphemes are also called additive morphemes. Like they are added, whether in form of um, suffix or prefix. They are added in form of affix. What do you mean by affix? Affix can either be prefix or suffix. When you add it before the root word, that's a prefix. When you add it after the root word, that's an affix. Do you get? So now, derivational morphemes. These are the types of morphemes that change the word class. Yeah, that change the word class of how can I put it now? The word class of a word, of a free morpheme, or of free morphemes. For instance, they can be in form of affix, yeah, or in form of prefix. No, I mentioned earlier that band morphemes are in form of affix or in form of prefix. That aspect is derivational. That aspect is derivational. So, for instance, if you have lega, so adding il, this becomes what? Illega. Am I even correct? Is it double L or single L? Sorry. I think it's just I. I've forgotten that. Or IL, sorry. IL. Illegal. Yeah, I think that's correct. So this an affix, but a prefix. Why is it a prefix? It is added before. It changes the word class of this. So this is an example of derivational morphemes. You can also have add. If you add ness, that's addness. This is suffix. It is after the root word add. Do we get? You can also have impossible. Impossible. You change the word class. Now the root word is possible. Then adding in. These are derivational morphemes. Do we get that? Like those ones are in form of affix, which can either be a prefix or a suffix. Take note of that. Now, what of inflectional morphemes? Inflectional morphemes, they are the types of note. Band morphemes generally they change word class, tense, singular to plural, part of speech, etc. And the one that is added in form of affix, which could be prefix or suffix, they are derivational. But for inflectional, these one are the types of morpheme that they either change from singular to plural, or they change the tense. For inflectional, these one they change the word class. So for inflectional, they change either from singular to plural, or they change the tense. Examples of inflectional, these are like s, ing. Do we get that? So for instance, if we have key by adding s, so this change from singular to plural. Do we get what you are saying? Let me give us another one. Let me say dance. No, this present tense. Dance. Now I can make it present continuous by changing the tense from present tense to present continuous tense by adding what? Ing. This dancing. So this either change the word, the root morpheme from singular to plural by adding s. We have more examples, but I'm just using this two as an example. Or by changing from what is it called? From present tense to past tense by adding ing. Now we also have okay, there is something I want to say. Okay, we also have this guy. We call it replacive morphemes. replacive. This one, uh, um, it changes. How can I put it now? Um, it changes tense. I mean, part of speech. Actually, is it part of speech? Tense, not part of speech. It changes part of speech from probably present to past tense. For instance, but the words like you are removing some letters there and replacing them with another letter. This time now you are not adding more letters. You are removing some and replacing them with another letter. For instance, whip. This present tense. Now the past tense is what? Wept. Now you remove e, you add t. Do we get that? So these are examples of replacive motive. Like tooth. It's not just tense alone. It can also be what? From singular to plural. Like tooth. You remove the double O and change it to what? Teeth. So this EE now is like a replacive morphemes there. So not just tense alone, can also be from singular to plural. So we also have zero morphemes. Zero morphemes. Take note of that. So those zero morphemes, they are the type of morpheme that the they are changing. Yeah, actually, maybe in terms of singular to plural, but what changes there is not seen physically. Like she, the plural is still she. Yeah, singular is she, plural is she. But we change it actually to from singular to plural, but nothing is added physically. You are not seeing anything. Those are examples of zero morphemes. So please take note of that. Now, another thing we also need to know is that now when we are talking of, let me check the video. When we are talking of words like, let's take for instance, how many morphemes do we have in this word? Impossible. We have two morphemes rather, right? Which is one band morpheme, which is in, and a free morpheme, which is what? Possible. Now, what I want you to know is that for you to say a word has more than one morpheme, maybe two or three morphemes, then it means when you break this is where we are going. When you break them down, the root word there and the original word in the first place, they still belong to the same blood. Yeah, let me call it blood now that you understand. Now, if you break them down, if they are not of the same blood again, you have to join it back such that the initial blood identity will still be maintained before you can say, I can split this and it's still a morpheme or they are still morphemes. Now, this is what I'm saying in essence. This thing. Now, like impossible, if I remove IM, if there is possible left, possible and impossible, they still belong to the same family. You don't get what I'm saying. Possible and impossible generally, like they are still talking about whether you are able to do something or you are not able to do something. Unlike if you remove IM, maybe possibility now means possibility is the negative of impossibility, but they are still drinking from the same pot like word and opposite. This is what I'm saying. Just calm down. If you remove IM and what is left here is maybe when I remove IM, what I have here, the meaning is now, maybe the meaning is now table. The meaning has now become table. From impossibility to table. Do they have any connection? Listen, let's proceed. You get it better. Now let's say um let's say counting. Let me not use that word class aspect. Let me not use that word class. Let me use this guy. Counting. Now we have two morphemes here, which are what? The root word is count, and we have what? Ing as the inflectional band morphemes here. Now, if I remove ing, count and counting, they still have like, you know, from perspective, we are still referring to you counting numbers or like count or numbers of things. Do we get what I'm saying? So assuming if I remove ing, maybe this count it's another thing entirely. Then I can't say this is two morphemes. It is only one morpheme. Because that means the whole word itself is a base word, is a root word. By removing ing, if this count means something else entirely. Let me give an example. Let's say um, I'm coming. Let me look for an example so that you grab this very like department. Department. If you use AI to check the morphemes that we have, it can tell you three. Yeah, but this is just a single morpheme. This is just one. This is a root word itself. It cannot be two morphemes when we have AL, departmental. But let me show you now. If I remove ment, if I remove ment, depart, depart is like telling you to leave here, depart from here, return. Does it have any clue related to department? No. So because depart is something totally different, like it doesn't have any connection to do with department. So that means you cannot break it into two. Do you get what I'm saying? You can't break it into two. So this department is just a single moving. Do we get that? Also, like if you remove D and you remain partment, is there any word like partment in English? I don't think so. So even D, so since there is no word like partment, I don't think there is. So you cannot separate D. Do we get the clue of what I'm trying to explain to us now? Let me check the video. So that's that for that. So this is just department, just a single moving. If you have AL, that's two moving. I hope that's clear. Now, the thing is that when you are separating those words, morphemes are actually technical because I don't think you can know it 100%, but you can be almost perfect like when you have a good clue of what you are talking about. A morpheme is like you are able to say this thing is more than one morpheme, such that if you remove things that you think they are bounded to it, that they are bound to it rather, things that you think they are bound to it, if you remove them, and the remaining word there that you think is a root word or a frame morpheme has something entirely different to say about the original word, then you can't remove them. Let them remain there. It's only a single morpheme. But if you remove those things you think they are bound morphemes to them, and the root morphemes, the one you think to be the root morpheme, if it still has connection with the original word, do we get? No, now departmental. If I remove AL, department still has connection with the original word. It still has connection with departmental. I hope this thing is getting clear. So we can say departmental contain two morphemes. But but department, if you remove this, depart is talking about another thing entirely. So you can't separate ment. This is the root word itself. So I hope that's clear. Now let's see. Um, I'm coming. Morpheme also change in terms of verb. In terms of verb, morpheme also change. I talked about part of speech earlier, so let me deal with that. It also change from noun to, from singular. Okay, we've done that. In terms of verb, it also change from singular to plural. Do I even need that? No, no, no. Okay, that's not. Let's forget it. Let's forget it. I'm looking for a few more things before we call it off. Now, how many morphemes do we have in the word strength? I'm sorry. Yeah, in the word strength. Somebody will say one. No, but it's two. Yeah. No, I told us about replacive morpheme earlier. Replacive. The root word of strength is strong. So we replace O with ETH. ETH. This is replacing. It's not a derivational morpheme. And it's not, uh, yeah, yeah, it's a replacive morpheme. We replace O with E and TH. Do we get? No, derivational is in form of affix, whether prefix or a suffix. So not in between. If you are replacing words, for derivational, you are not replacing any word, you are just adding whether to the front or to the back. So this is not derivational. Do we get that? Even inflectional, you are not replacing word. What you are just doing is that you are adding to change whether the tense or from singular to plural. We get that. Now, the root word is strong. Strong and strength, they actually have identity of each other. Like, I don't say they mean the same thing, but what I'm trying to say is that they still belong to the same family group. So by turning strong to strength, strong doesn't have a different meaning entirely from strength. They still have the same meaning, but the thing is that the structure has changed in terms of strong. Strong, as I said, the man is strong. The man is strong. I have strength. This is like a possession. This is like a possession. This is like a condition. Do we get? So that is just change the what's it called now? I've forgotten what they call that. I'm sorry about that. This is like a possession. What you have strength. Like she has strength. He has strength. She is strong. This is like a condition. Do we get? But if I say you are strong, I'm also saying you have strength, probably. But one is in terms of condition, like your present condition, that is you are strong. One is in terms of possession, what you have. Do we get? So here now, strong plus th. Actually, it's not just th, there's a replacive morphemes there, O and E. But just assume that this is strong plus th. So strength has two morphemes. So that's that for that. Don't worry, in the next video, I don't think I've missed things up, but if there is any, maybe I'll drop on the comment section. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. In the next video, we are going to discuss more about this very well. So, but for now, just know those things. Please, derivational morphemes, those ones are in form of affix, prefix, suffix. Like rededicate, illegal, illegal, rededicate. And there is something I remember now. In terms of suffix, let's say happy to happiness, from happy to happiness. For inflection, like keys, inflectional morpheme, or dancing. Do we get that? Now, another thing I want us to know is that let's check one more example here. And we also have some like replacive morphemes, like zero morphemes. But the main two types that we have are free and band. And under band we have what? We have derivation and what? Inflectional. So all those replacive and zero morpheme, they are just like other cases we can see. Do we get? Now I'm coming. There is one example I want to give us. Maybe in the next video we are going to treat a lot of questions, but just understand. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share among your friends. And okay, now this is not the example. I just want to give this domination. How many morphemes do we have? Now listen. I can't. This you can also have dominate. Dominate and domination. They still have the same family group. Like it's still about ruling. I can still have dominion. Dominion is also still about ruling. So whether dominion dominates domination, they are still talking about what? Ruling. So you can separate them. Now, the fact that I remove I when, or I remove, or I replace something here, from here to here now it's like a replacive morpheme. From here to here it's like inflection. You just add I when, something like that. But here now I replace the word. I replace letters rather. So now, the fact that I remove some things or I replace something, if these three, if their meaning are entirely different, maybe both the three are not talking about ruling, or having power over something, then we cannot say it's three morphemes. We can only say it's three morphemes because as we are removing those band morphemes, do we get? Or those replacing morphemes, as we are replacing them, the three still are still referring to ruling, like having power over something, having authority over something. So it is when you remove some part of the words and what you still have left is still referring to like same sense of the original words. Then you can say okay, it contains more than one. But if you remove some part of the words and the one that is like the free that you think is the base word there is describing something else entirely from the original word, then you cannot remove those words. Then you say this is just a single morpheme. Do we get? Now dominion. This is the root word. We can't break it down again. Or will you say domain? Is there anything like domain? We are not talking about domain here. This is not maths. So dominion is the root word. Then dominate. So domination contain what? Three morphemes. So see you in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.